Welcome to another growth moment, and today we're going to be looking at what to do when trials come in your life. It's kind of a different thought. All of us go through trials. Somebody said this one time, you're either in a trial, coming out of a trial, or getting ready to go into one. The Bible describes it as mountaintops and valleys or storms. But today I want to look at a simple thought found out of James of how we can have certain responses in our trials. In the book of James, he gives us 4 simple things that we can have as a Christian when we go through these trials. The first one is a response. Look what it says in James chapter 1, verse 2. It says, "My brethren, count it all joy." And then he says this, "when ye fall into divers temptations." The truth is, it's not whether you're in one, but we will have trials come in our life. And James says that we can have joy. So our response to these trials or these testings that happen in our life is we can have joy. Well, why is that? He says this in verse number 2, or verse number 3, he says, "Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience." So not only do we see the response that we can have in trials, but number 2, we see the reason. What's the point of it? And he says it's the trying or the working out of your faith. I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy testings and I don't enjoy trials. I never enjoyed tests in school. And there's a lot of people that enjoy them. I don't. But the truth is, those tests are there in your life to test you on what you know, but also to help you to get to the next level. He even says this word, worketh. It worketh patience. Working out, a lot of times you see people in the gym and they'll be pumping iron and they'll push those weights up. You never see a massive bodybuilder with these small weights on the bar pumping it all the time, just the same thing over and over again. No, he adds the weight. He adds the resistance or the adversity. And why does he do that? He does that to make him stronger. James says that we can have a response, we can have a reason, which is this working out of our faith. But not only that, but in the middle of a trial, we can give our request to God. The truth is, Christian, Jesus is always with you. And David says he's writing in many of the Psalms, he's in a cave, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown in a fiery furnace. I think of Daniel in the lion's den. But the thing is this, that God is always with you in those trials. It says this, that if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. So we see the response, we see the reason, we see the request. And the truth is, when you're in the middle of a trial, sometimes all you can do is look up. Somebody said this, surrender is looking up, backing up, and giving up. Just giving it all over to God. Lastly, not only do you see the response, the reason, the request, but then you see the reward found at the end of the chapter. It says this, verse 12, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." Not only do you see the response, the reason, and the request, but lastly, you see the reward as we go through this trial. Verse 12 of James chapter 1, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." This passage, it starts with a trial and ends with a triumph. And the truth is, Christian, whenever you go through a trial, you can end with triumph. It is there to make you stronger. If you're in the middle of that trial, you can ask God for His help. And in the midst of all of it, you can have joy. So often I've gone to the bedside of someone in our church and prayed for them, or to a hospital visit, or to visit a young person. And while they're in the middle of going through their trial, they were more of an encouragement to me than I was trying to be to them. Because they're in the middle of the trial. They're in the middle of having what James talks about is joy in the midst of trial. So wherever you're at today, you might be watching this late in an evening, afternoon, or morning, but the truth is we all go through hills, mountaintops, valleys, storms, trials in our life come and go. But we can have a response, a reason, a request, and a reward as we go through these trials. God bless you. The Lord be with you today.